Welcome to Weaving Resonance, where intuition, energy, and embodiment meet real life. I'm Anna Gannon, international intuitive psychic and intuitive development coach. After conducting thousands of readings for people all over the world and training hundreds of people in developing their intuition, I'm here to help you awaken your unique intuitive gifts, trust them fully, and embody their wisdom. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. It's so great to be sitting with you today. And as we begin every single solo podcast, let's just take a moment to get into our bodies. So no matter what you're doing, right? If you're out walking, if you're driving, whatever you're doing right now, you can continue to do it while also taking a moment with me to just bring your focus, your attention, your awareness into your body. And as I say that, just notice where you land in your body. So maybe that was your heart. Maybe it was your whole body. Maybe it was your belly. Just notice where you landed without needing to make a reason out of it or for it to mean anything. And wherever you landed in your body, see if you can go just a layer deeper to notice what you may sense in that area. This could be a sensation like your heartbeat. It could be a sensation like the rhythm of your breath. It could be a temperature. My cat just jumped behind me, so if you're watching this on YouTube, you might see her, or you might hear her clawing around. Stay in your body. Good. And again, just notice what sensations are here and anything else that may be present. So noticing the awareness of both being in your body and then maybe there's thoughts that are coming in at the same time. We're just building the awareness between body and anything else. Good. Now here, I would invite all of us to take our awareness from wherever it was in our body and just move it into your throat, which means just bring your focus, your attention right into your throat area. And now do the same thing. So I want you to notice what sensations are present in your throat. Does your throat feel more constricted? Does it feel really expansive today? Does it feel hot, warm, cold? And anything else, maybe when you're tuning into it, you sense a color. Maybe you sense some kind of tingle. Maybe there's a feeling there, like an emotion, sadness. Maybe it feels a little suppressed. Good. And I'm going to invite you for the rest of our time together today to not only listen to the words that I'm speaking, but to also be in your throat, because today we are talking about truth as a vibration. And if you're familiar with energy or with the chakra system, you'll probably know that the throat processes the energy of truth. It also processes the energy of trust, which tend to go together, truth and trust. It processes the energy of speaking, of communication, and then also of listening. So the ears, our ability to listen in and through our ears or just in and through our entire body, it comes in and through that throat chakra. That's where the energy of listening is. But like I said, today we're going to focus on the frequency of truth as a vibration, which is one of my favorite topics to discuss because especially with how our world is progressing right now in terms of us being able to tell what is true with AI, what is a true video of a person, or what is a true voice of a person. It's important that we kind of pull back into ourselves, into our own bodies, and remember that we are natural truth barometers. We are natural lie detectors. And today we're going to be kind of distilling everything down to a point that we can tune into that within our own bodies. So stay tuned for that. So with this, the thing that I like to share first is truth has a vibration in the way that it is a very clear frequency. And what I mean by that is that when someone speaks the truth, or when you speak your own truth, there is no resistance around that frequency when it happens. Whereas if someone is lying, or if you are not telling the full truth, what will happen is that you will sense a resistance in the frequency in terms of someone might be saying one thing, but thinking another. Or you may be saying one thing, but your emotion and your body knows it's not the truth. And there's like a resistance between the words that are coming out of your mouth and the sensations, the emotions within your body. Then this can also be with like beliefs, right? So we could have a belief that is going against the words that are coming out of our mouths or the words that are coming out of someone else's. This is also why when you have heard someone else speak the truth in your life, and we'll just start there with you being able to hear truth from something or someone else, it tends to kind of have this silence around it. It's like that mic drop moment that we tend to talk about when someone just speaks something so truthful that you feel like a mic just drops afterwards, right? That's like that silence that just drops. And maybe even the whole room will go quiet because everyone in that moment knows that what they just heard and experienced was truth. My cat is just going to meow through this, so I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that's her name's Remedy. So if you hear it, that's what's happening. This is her truth. So notice, maybe go back in your life in moments when you heard or felt truth. Maybe you were watching a movie. Maybe you were listening to a song and it just immediately brought you to tears because it rang true, right? That saying that we tend to hear, it rings true in our whole system. We just know it as truth and there's no resistance around it. Now let's take it into your body, moments when you have spoke your truth. And just pay attention, kind of go back in time to a moment where you know maybe you spoke a truth when it was really challenging to do so. Maybe there was like you were really scared, right, to say something, but you said it anyway. You spoke your truth anyway. And notice if maybe in that moment, right as you're speaking your truth and maybe right after, your whole body just kind of relaxed and open and there was just this clearing that happened. Almost like your body is a vessel. And when the truth really comes out, it releases completely and it leaves your body, your vessel, empty in a way that then it can be filled again. This is what the energy of truth feels like in your own system. It is a complete release. And afterward, you tend to feel relieved. This is also why I'm sure there's been moments in your life, or maybe you've heard other people say before, if someone is kind of holding back a truth or if they're lying, it can just start to eat away at them, right? The lie eats away at their system because it's stuck within them. It is an energy that gets stuck within us. And it will start to kind of like eat away at our system until we have the bravery to speak it outwards, right? So just kind of hold this idea that truth, when it's spoken, has no resistance around it. It's a very clear, clean frequency, because this is something that I want you to practice both when you're speaking your truth, how you feel clear afterwards, and also when you're listening to others, not as a way to catch someone in a lie. I absolutely do not invite you to use this practice for that. I instead invite you to use this practice with immense compassion and investigation, like curiosity in that way of like, oh, wow, what this person's saying right now doesn't ring true in my system, right? I think they're holding something back. Maybe they're feeling insecure, or maybe they have shame, right? Or maybe they just don't trust me in this moment. So just notice, right? When something's coming at you, just sit back, open, and be curious. Not like you're trying to convict someone of lying, but that you're really just paying attention to the intelligence of your system and the intelligence of everyone else's system, right? This is all about awareness. Now, I've been kind of hearing here and there, whether it's on social media or people that are talking in this space, there's a lot of talk right now about truth. And I've heard the teacher, Carolyn Miss, talk about truth being the most important thing right now, because if we're not really letting out our truth, it's making us sick, which we'll talk about a little bit. I've heard a lot of people discussing this in terms of us just moving from the year of the wood snake into the year of the fire horse, and astrologically shifting into Aries. And because of that, there's been a lot of talk about how the energy right now is all about exposing what has been hidden. We see this in the Epstein files with things that are happening in politics as well, that anything that was kind of hidden beneath is coming up. It is being uprooted so that it can come into the light, so that we can see the truth, right? So this is not only something that I'm bringing forth here for us as individuals, which I think it really needs to start with us as individuals looking at this for ourselves and our own bodies, but also it's very much vibrating in the collective. And whenever something is vibrating in the collective, it creates this beautiful opportunity for us to use that energy, that power of transformation outside of us to transform this within us. So truth is really here right now to learn energetically, to remember what you have always known about how you can tell if someone is speaking the truth, and also what you have always known within your system about when you are speaking the truth or not. So another area that I heard this, I was listening to a podcast the other day about Mary Magdalene. And I've been kind of dipping my toe into learning about Mary Magdalene for a few years now. And I was listening to a podcast, and a woman read something from the Gospel of Thomas that I had never heard before. And I was walking when I was listening to this podcast, and when I heard this excerpt from the Gospel of Thomas, I literally stopped in my tracks, kind of like what we were just talking about, like truth has a vibration and time tends to stop when we really hear it. And I'm going to read to you what the Gospel of Thomas, this insert that was there, says. It says, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what is within you will destroy you." I'm going to speak it one more time. If you bring forth what is within you, what is within you will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what is within you will destroy you. And on an energetic level, why this stopped me in my tracks when I heard it is because I have come to know from seeing energy, hearing energy, feeling, knowing energy, sensing energy, tasting, smelling it, and working with thousands of people and doing readings for them, that when we hold things within us and we do not let them out, it tends to create these blocks in our energetic current within our body. Like imagine that our energy moves like a current, like water. And when we don't allow things to come out that are our own truths, we see this even with trauma. And this is what I sense that trauma looks like in the system. It creates these kind of like blocks, like a rock in the middle of the current. So the current of your energy cannot move efficiently. And sometimes it gets so stuck that no signal can go through that block, that rock, right? And this tends to happen over time. So the more that we kind of hold back our emotions, we hold back our truths, it starts to solidify energetically in our system. And I don't love to always harp on what I'm about to say because I think there's many things that determine why we get sick. And one of those things is when we are holding things within us. We see this on an emotional level. If someone is holding a lot of anger in their system, and maybe it's anger they have been holding for 30 years that they don't let out, it can start to create a block, which I tend to, for some reason, see a block within the heart space when it comes to anger, or more in the ribs, like around the lungs. It tends to create like heart attacks or different things that can happen. Again, this is one level of what can impact our health, and it is one to pay attention to, right? This is why working with trauma and helping to release traumas from your past can be really helpful, because literally it's starting to kind of massage that block, that energetic rock in your system, so it can start to move and then release from your system. So it is no longer stuck and creating havoc in how your energy moves throughout your whole body. So I actually saw this. I'm recording this on March 17th, so it's St. Patrick's Day today, and I'm Irish Catholic and grew up very much. This was like a big holiday with my family. And also today, I went to go see my mom in rehab. She just moved from the hospital to rehab late last night, which I was there for as well. And then this morning, I went to go see her. And my mom and her family, they have never really fully felt their feelings, their emotions. And it comes out in different ways, and they all know it as well, and we'll joke about it. And when I went to go see my mom today in rehab, I could clearly see that she was not feeling okay, there was emotions. And the moment I could see this with my physical eyes, which we tend to all do this, right? We'll see someone's body language and it is telling us things about what's happening inside of them. The moment I saw it, then I started to tune to her on a more clairsentient level, which is like an empath level, right? This happens because when people don't, especially when they don't share their feelings, if you're an empath, you're going to feel them even stronger, right? So I immediately started to feel that she was feeling very sad, depressed, and stuck. And I sat with her, which I tend to do for a little bit, and asked her, like, hey, Mom, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? And she wasn't able to articulate it until I started to name the emotion. So I said, are you feeling sad? And then she said, yes. Are you feeling depressed? Yes. What is coming up? What are you not saying that you need to say? And she said, I want to go home, right? So it's this challenging thing that when someone isn't speaking their truth, that sometimes, especially in the case of my mom, you kind of have to pull it out of them, right? And if you're someone who's very intuitive and in tune, especially emotionally, you're going to feel that very much. And I feel very fortunate to have, for years now, studied and practiced how to know when that's my mom and when it's me, right? So if you're listening to this and you're an empath, Maybe you're not there yet. And this is my invitation to you to just start paying attention, right? It's a very simple question that I tend to teach people. It's just, you just ask yourself the question, is this mine? So I knew immediately when I was feeling sad in my body and depressed and feeling like I don't want to be there, I knew that wasn't mine. And that's through a lot of practice of awareness, which takes just paying attention, asking that question, is it mine, to begin with? So the reason why I'm bringing this up about my mom today is to, one, share that this is me noticing that she's not saying the truth in that moment until some kind of probing, until I can name the word and then she can echo it back, right? So we know when we hear truth because it's clean. We also know when we don't hear truth because something's off. Something's like foggy in the signal with what someone's saying or what we're feeling. So we want to pay attention to that too. And also to just note on this level of when we're not speaking our truth, it can, on an energetic, one aspect of that could be that we are not really allowing our truth to come out, that we can get sick. I learned a few months ago, I heard Gabor Mate, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, he's studies trauma and very big in the field of trauma. And he shared that something like 70 to 80% of all autoimmune diseases are women. And that there's a connection that it's women who were very caretakers in their life and that suppressed a lot of their emotions and didn't have space to kind of talk about or address their own needs. So that's just showing right there that when things are suppressed within us, right, it starts to create havoc in our systems. So speaking our own truth is really, really big. And in just the simplest point of that, it cleans out your energetic system and that it doesn't create this kind of residue within you that can later become something, right? So, although it's, I think, helpful to use this as you can walk around and really know if someone else is telling the truth, right, or not. Like I said before, I would like us to practice today how we can sense our own truth. Because at the end of the day, we can't walk around like I did with my mom today, pulling someone's truth out of them. We have to empower ourselves to learn how to identify what our truth is, have the courage to speak it, and then show people through that example what it looks like when someone is really speaking their truth in a very embodied, empowered way. And that empowers others to do the same. I've seen it over and over again. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say to me, I didn't know that I could do that until I saw you do it, right? I didn't know that I could just speak that truth out and that the world wouldn't, burn to the ground, right? And we're not saying speaking a truth. We have to be clear and in coherence when we're doing that. This isn't about making someone else wrong. This isn't about using anger to really get our truth out. It's about knowing what our truth is and being solid and anchored in ourselves so that we can clearly articulate it out, again, as a clearing for ourselves. So it does not have to be hidden within us. And then understanding that once it's out, people can take it or they cannot, right? But that's not our choice, right? So let's take a moment, because I feel like there's always something going on in our system that we are trying to identify our own truth with it. So if you're listening to this and you have a moment to close your eyes, you can. You don't have to. So if you're driving or walking, keep your eyes open. And I invite you to, again, like how we started, drop into your body. So just bring all your focus, your attention, your beautiful awareness into the body. And again, notice where you land. So maybe you landed back in your throat. Maybe you're in your heart, your belly, your legs, your hands, arms, shoulders, head. Notice the sensations that are there, heartbeat, breath, temperature, emotion, just what is. And as an exercise, I want you to just bring something to your mind that you are trying to get clear on, that you would like to know what is your truth with this. So maybe it's a choice you need to make. Maybe it's really getting clear on how you feel about something or someone. Good. And really bring this thing that you're looking for an answer for just all the way into your body. And then go ahead and notice when you're in your body and you bring this question up that you're seeking clarity on, that you're seeking inner truth on. Let your body, your awareness guide you somewhere into the body where this truth lies. And just imagine, just play like a child. Notice maybe you're taken into your belly. Wherever you go, just land. And wherever you landed, go ahead and see what's around this space in your body where you landed, where this truth lives within you. Maybe there's a color to the space. Maybe there's a sound. Maybe there's a smell or a taste to hear, an emotion. Just use your awareness. What's here? And remember that whatever is coming up is just information. Not to necessarily investigate or interpret right now, but just to notice. It's blue. I hear like a rustling of wind. It feels dark or spiky. Maybe you feel smooth and beautiful or illuminating. And then go ahead and ask this space, this truth within you, within your body. Ask it to reveal to you what your inner choice is, what your truth is on this next step, this next thing that you're seeking guidance on. And just trust the first thing that arises. So if your mind already came in, questioning, shaming, blaming, fear, just come back to that space and ask again and get the first answer. And notice if there's some kind of clarity around it, something clean about it, something that rings true in your system. Without you needing to know how or why right now, just see if you could sit with the clarity of truth that your own body is telling you within. Good. And again, if the mind comes in trying to figure it out, already trying to problem solve or say why it works or why it doesn't, just come back to that space in your body and notice what rings true. There's nothing to act on right now. It's just really listening, deep, deep awareness of what's here. Beautiful. And then I want you to just imagine that like a baby bird would be nestled in a nest and cradled. If you, in your awareness, could just cradle this truth like a baby bird within your body, just holding it, nurturing it, letting it know that you see it, that you hear it, that you feel it, that you know it, that you remember. Beautiful. And then I'll invite you to just imagine that you could take this cradled energy and just see if you could send it into your throat, into that chakra that processes truth. And when you do it, just notice what happens in your throat. Notice what happens throughout your whole body when you give this truth into the space of your body that knows exactly how to metabolize it, exactly how to bring it into your whole system so that you may embody it, you may become it. You may have the courage to bring it forth in a grounded, anchored awareness. Really good. So just notice how this feels in your body as a way to notice what truth feels like in your system. Remembering that developing your intuition, developing your energetic awareness, it takes being able to really sense in and get into these states of frequency like truth so that you can start to paying attention when this surges through your body again, whether it's from you identifying your own truth or when someone else or something else comes towards you that is truth and you feel the sensation again in your body. This is you really remembering this beautiful design of a body that you have. And as we close today, because it just reminded me of that when I said our beautiful design of a body, that I am leading an Activate Your Energetic Field workshop on April 11th that is going to be all about really understanding your field's design. We have 7 energetic layers within our whole energetic field. And each layer corresponds to one of your chakras. Like today, we were in the throat chakra, which corresponds to the spiritual layer that is for your highest good. It carries the wisdom of your highest good, your individual highest path that is connected to the whole as a highest path. That's that spiritual layer in your field. But we're going to be touching on every layer in the field so that you can learn about these different parts of your design and how you can be in communication with them, how you can clear them, and how you can bring them into coherence. So just like we bring our chakras into a state of balance and coherence, so they're all online, they're all communicating and working as one so that we are in our full radiance, our full home frequency. When we pair that with the alignment of our layers, we get even more clear, even more embodied, even more powerful. And I've been really feeling for the past 2 months at least to bring this workshop forward so that we can dive deep into your specific design. So if you're interested in that, it's happening April 11th. I believe it's 11 a.m. Eastern to 1 p.m. Eastern. It's on my website, annagannon.com. Under workshops and trainings. So look that up. I'll link it in the show notes below as well. And last thing that I wanted to share, is just like a wholehearted thank you. I went on, my husband was like, have you looked on Apple Podcasts to see like the reviews for your podcast? And I was like, oh no, I didn't even like think about that, And I went and looked, and there are, I mean, a few of you reviewed it, but 2 people wrote like just the kindest reviews on there that literally made me cry. So I just want to thank Jackie and Laura. If you're listening to this, just wow. Like, thank you for taking the time to sit there and write a review. And it just really warmed my heart. So I just want to say thank you. And I also want you to know, when or if you leave reviews like that, I am reading them, and that I am just so touched. And I just needed to say that. And also on YouTube, I see that Jim is also commenting a lot under the videos, and that just means so much. Jim was a part of the training that I did, Intuition and Energy Mastery. I believe it was 2025. And we have a whole community that did that training. And Jim just went through surgery. And it's just so beautiful to see him write in the community and ask for people to send protection, to send energy his way. And he is doing great, which is so great to hear. But I just wanted to take a moment and really honor and acknowledge the people that are in community with me, with each other. It's just something that I feel like is lacking right now in so many spaces. And I feel just, I guess the only word I can really dive into here is I just feel so honored. So thank you so much. And I hope that this episode rang true for you. And I hope that you can take nuggets from it and enjoy it. And please let me know how it goes. You know, I am always wondering. So all my love to you guys, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening today. If this episode supported you, please subscribe and leave a rating. That simple step helps this podcast grow and helps more people reconnect with their intuition in a grounded, embodied way. If you want to go deeper, take my 5-minute free quiz in the show notes entitled Unlock the Full Power of Your Intuition, where you'll discover your unique intuitive gifts, whether you're a knower, seer, feeler, or sensor, and learn more about how your intuition naturally speaks to you. Look out for new episodes dropping every Tuesday. I'm so honored to have spent this time with you. See you next week.